Hi, I'm Jennell and I want to share in this video my thoughts about how mindfulness can be the key to boosting your career. It's January 21st, 2021, as I record this video, and so many workplaces in the United States that I know about are still operating pretty much virtually. Missing from our work routines are the face-to-face interactions with coworkers and customers, and having that informal, casual chat at the water cooler, and just talking about life outside of work. I know people that feel like that they are missing out on so much right now, and particularly opportunities to build relationships with peers, but also with people who might be able to influence their career in the future. Some wonder if perhaps the whole pandemic and working virtually is really going to stall their career for months or maybe years as a result of not being with people of higher influence. There's just little time for those informal conversations where you meet someone that's further along in their career who may one day really be in a position to advance your career. So, what can you do to minimize fear about missing out on career opportunities? And I think the very first thing you have to do is to start managing all of the emotions that you might be feeling on top of, being quite disconnected perhaps from not having those face-to-face interactions and those introductions to people who can influence your career. Begin to really start to manage the level of emotionality that you have about it. And you can integrate mindfulness practices into your life and up level your emotional intelligence by doing that. So you'll be better positioned to manage your emotions. Mindfulness practices dramatically increase your emotional intelligence, which is your superpower when it comes to boosting your career. Mindfulness helps you strengthen your ability to be calm in chaos and to masterfully handle conflicts and to successfully motivate others to excel. I am a mindfulness and meditation instructor, so I see this in all the work that I do with my clients, how much it helps them manage their emotions. Now, such leadership strengths as being able to manage your emotions, are still easy for people to see, even on Zoom calls and virtual meetings. People who have the power to open doors for you in the future and enhance your career will notice how you handle, tough situations that may come up on a Zoom call or trying to problem solve something with a customer on a Zoom call. So anything related with people challenges where you have an opportunity to demonstrate a higher level of emotional intelligence. So let me share specifically how mindfulness can help develop your EQ, your emotional intelligence, and ultimately boost your career. Mindfulness is all about being in the present moment without judging it. Mindfulness supercharges your ability to live in the moment. Mindfulness practices like meditation allow you to slow down, which will help you increase in the areas of self-awareness, social awareness, your ability to, again, manage your emotions and also build relationships, essentially helping you develop the four core EQ skills. So to get you started on your mindfulness journey and increase your EQ and ultimately enhance your career, I'm going to suggest three very simple mindfulness techniques that you can start using now, even before you may return to the workplace and later in 2021 or beyond. Go ahead and start these practices so that when you do have even more face time, you'll be able to show up in the way that you want to increase your chances for career advancement. The first thing, it sounds simple, but the first thing is to always breathe intentionally and deeply whenever you're feeling stressed out. Again, I know that sounds really simple, but when we're under stress, sometimes we don't breathe very deeply. As a matter of fact, we hardly breathe at all. It's very, very shallow. We are thinking from the primal part of our brain, right? We might sense danger, and that activates our sympathetic nervous system. We go into that fight or flight mode, which is not our best decision-making place if we're not in a, certainly if we're not in a non-life-threatening situation. So when you take several deep breaths and bring oxygen to your brain, you will think more clearly and make better decisions. You intentionally then activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like pushing stop on your stress button and then pressing start on your relaxation button. The more you do this, the easier it becomes, and you operate from a foundational place of centeredness versus chaos. And that affects how you show up on Zoom or anywhere in life. A second technique is to meditate every day to build your mental fitness. And you can take time right now while you're working virtually to develop this practice. You have less commuting time, so allocate that to a short meditation practice, and you'll be on your way to developing a greater level of mental fitness and calmness by leaving stress every single day through meditation. And I know from working with leaders every day that sitting and doing nothing sounds impossible, right? I've heard every excuse imaginable why one doesn't have time to meditate. But none of those excuses outweigh all the benefits that you gain physically, mentally, and emotionally from meditation. And just taking time out of your day every day to reduce stress trains your brain to focus better and also helps you make better decisions. So being known as someone who does this will advance your career. If you don't meditate or reduce mental stress in some way, stress just accumulates. It doesn't dissipate. So chronic stress clouds your creativity. It diminishes your ability to think critically, which are two very essential skills for any leader who wants to advance their career. So if you manage stress well, you're able to see possibilities like and come up with new ideas and things like collaborations across your organization, which can then raise your visibility and elevate your visibility and get your name in the hat for higher level opportunities in the future. And the third technique, mindfulness technique that you can do is to be aware of your triggers and to press pause to manage them. So a trigger is really a self-protection mechanism. It's an automatic response to something that you have based on your past experiences, your education, your comfort zone, and the general lens that you use to view the world. We all have them. We all have triggers. So what we want to do is to be aware of them. That's really the first step. It's, I'm having this response. What is that all about? And catch yourself every time you feel a trigger, which might be a pit in your stomach. It might be a flash of fear. It might be just having an automatic, unstoppable negative reaction to something someone has done or said, or you've seen or heard or read. So what you want to do is press pause in your mind when you feel that trigger so that you don't automatically react. And ask yourself, why are you responding this way? What is this all about? Did something even outside of work cause you to have this response in some way that it's even hard for you to understand? And do you think maybe you're overreacting to something? And is this how you want to feel? Most people don't want to feel it, but it's normal. So is it how you want to, you can change this. You don't have to stay in that state of anger, fear, frustration, disappointment, overwhelm, whatever it is. And is this how you want to show up at work? Is this really who you are as a leader? While you may want to respond with a negative comment or tone, that'll just give you maybe a temporary outlet for your frustration, but it could cost you dearly when it comes to having opportunities to advance your career in the future. And you can see every day in the newspaper people who aren't able to do this and how it has negatively impacted their career. So pressing pause is like emotional intelligence, EQ in action. So just take a moment and decide how you want to respond. That's going to better serve you and anyone you're interacting with. It's all about managing your emotions instead of being out of control. People see this, they pick up on it. People don't want to be around people out of control. They don't know what you're going to do next. It's about thinking before speaking, right? It's about taking a breath and creating some space between what you've observed, how your initial reaction, and then choosing how you want to respond. People who do this move up in their careers. And just try it on the next time you feel triggered. You'll be surprised how much better you feel and how much more in control you do feel, which I think right now with the pandemic is a really wonderful feeling that we'd all love to have more of, is feeling somewhat in control. So I promise you that these three simple mindfulness techniques will expand your EQ with greater awareness, your greater ability to then manage your emotions and be more aware of the emotions that others are feeling, and all of which helps you better manage your relationships. If you master those four EQ skills that I just described, you will be sought out for high level, influential roles by the companies you work for now and the ones you may work for in the future. So don't wait until the pandemic is over to begin integrating these mindfulness techniques into your life. You've got a little more time now without commuting. Start now. It can make a huge difference in how connected you feel and how much better you feel working virtually, and how optimistic you can feel about your career in the future. And it certainly impacts how you show up on a Zoom call, with any group of people. You'll show up more as the leader who has the higher emotional intelligence. So I'll wrap up with a quote from Bill George, who's a professor of management practice at Harvard Business School and former chairman and CEO of Medtronic. And Bill George says, leaders who are mindful tend to be more effective in understanding and relating to others and motivating them towards shared goals. Hence, they become more effective in leadership roles. And even though you're not going into an office maybe every day, people are watching you, people are noticing you. And if you're able to demonstrate a higher level of emotional intelligence, that alone is going to help boost your career. If you want to learn more about what I've shared in this video, and how I help leaders transform into high performers where they can navigate conflicts easily, build high trust relationships, and create work cultures that thrive, please reach out to me and we can set up a call. My contact information is here in the video, and I can share more about how I actually do that with leaders in all kinds of industries, all different levels. Doing these things will help you tremendously. So I hope you will try them, and thank you for listening.